Hey everybody, it's your old pal Cody Fairless-Lee, aka Cody Fearlessly, and for this video I'm going to be talking about the upcoming Goosebumps movie. As you all know by now, that the movie is coming out on Friday, October 16th, 2015, and it stars the hilarious and awesome Jack Black as a fictionalized version of Goosebumps author R.L. Stine, meaning that the movie is also a comedy. Now, before I explain the story any further, I'm going to give you all a little history about this motion picture. Hollywood's first attempt at making a GB movie was back in 1998, whereas 20th Century Fox produced a short-lived TV series based on R.L. Stine's books and thought of a movie version of these spooky stories with the great Tim Burton as the producer. It never happened, and in May 2008, Columbia Pictures bought the rights to make a movie, and it took years to get a proper screenplay and cast into fruition. However, in my last months of elementary school life, I thought of a Goosebumps movie of my own, and God said that was already being planned without me. Regardless, I still thought about my ideas over years and thought this would all pull through and that there would be hope for me. But it was still happening and I hoped to get a role in it, yet I wasted my life and here I am making this video. I could have been the lead teenager in a film, but it's like what Anne Hathaway said in an interview. I'm losing roles to younger actors. The movie was supposed to come out on March 22nd, 2016, but moved up to August 7th of this year, and then it moved to April 15th, 2016. So I exclude this movie from my top 20 most anticipated movies of 2015 videos. However, on January 22nd of this year, the movie moved up to October 16th, which is the same day Crimson Peak comes out on IMAX. So yeah, Sony messed me up here, and one of my most anticipated movies of the coming future was not in my 2015 list because the studio made the switch too late. For those who have seen my top 20 most anticipated movies of 2015 videos, you all remember by now that Star Wars The Force Awakens was listed as my most anticipated. But for the last while, I've been really regretful of that decision. Not just because I'm not a fan of the first two trilogies, but also because it may not actually be a Disney movie, and these upcoming SW movies would all just be Lucasfilm. Of course, that means I won't see the new Star Wars movies, unless something happens, and if I would have known that, then Goosebumps would have been my most anticipated of 2015, even though I was a little more excited for the new SpongeBob movie. Now, before we get to what my Goosebumps movie would have become if it got made, here's the story of the new movies, since I never got a chance to explain so in those videos. By now, you all know what videos I'm talking about. A teenage boy named Zach Cooper moves from New York to a small town and meets his new neighbor Hannah, who turns out to be the daughter of R.L. Stine himself. His creations in the book series are locked up in his manuscripts of these stories, whereas if they are unlocked and open, they come out of these books and are free. Zach and his weirdo friend Champ, which is a really weird name for a scared and wimpy kid like him, unintentionally open one of Stine's books, leading to the release of every ghost and monster from the manuscripts. Now, R.L. Stine and these teenagers have to team up to put these creatures of the night back where they came from before they overrun the town and harm people. So now here's my version of a Goosebumps movie. It was actually the same type of story I had in mind, except with some obvious differences. My idea of it was darker and PG-13, whereas the boy's mom would leave him to watch the new house for a few days, and he and his new friend stumble upon a hidden room with a cursed amulet that brings these monsters to life. The origin would be that an old artist from many years ago painted these creatures, and the amulet would bring these guys to life. They weren't for a while in this hidden room until, well, you know where this is going. Rather than the monsters from the books, these monsters would include a giant tarantula, even though I'm actually arachnophobic, a giant man-eating worm, a dragon, a zombie army somewhat similar to the zombies from Eddie Murphy's Haunted Mansion movie, and the leader who wants world domination would be a creepy old gray man with a black robe, black hair, and parts of his hair being snakes like the Greek myth of Medusa. I just never imagined that a feature film based on these books and television series would focus on a fictional version of Mr. Stein, because back then I didn't know how that would work. Anyway, this new movie has almost all of the books, monsters, and creatures, and is rated PG, meaning that it's more of a family movie, yet it's also supposed to be a horror movie. Okay, the books were pretty much written for teens like over 14 and were pretty scary. This movie is written as a PG rated live action slash computer anime horror comedy for kids. Wait, horror movies for kids? Okay, I thought things were strange enough when I found out that Disney made a so-called horror movie, back in 1980 called The Watcher in the Woods, which was obviously rated PG. And now I'm hearing that there's horror movies for kids and families. What, so scary anime movies like the clay anime films from Tim Burton and that stupid motion capture flick Monster House are all considered horror movies too? What has this world gone into? I don't know anymore, but I will say that I'm obviously still going to see this movie. Why? Because I recently entered a pure HMV contest where the grand prize is a trip for two to the red carpet premiere of a movie in California. Obviously, I didn't win, but there were 25 secondary prizes of advanced screens to said movie, and I'm one of those 25 winners who was going to this screen at the Silver City Yon Eglinton Theatre in Toronto, just 1 week from the recording and uploading of this video. I was supposed to go with my Aunt Tam, but she can't, so if I would have known that, I would have just selected one ticket for myself because even though the price was two tickets, you just had the option of selecting either one or two tickets. So I'm going to have to figure something out. Anyway, you guys, that's my video about the new Goosebumps movie, and I will do something like this for the upcoming Krampus movie coming out on December 4th eventually. But until then, I gotta come up with a game plan for next week's screening. And if any of you are wondering how this strange idea for a Goosebumps movie will pay off in the end, it turns out that it's got great reviews so far, and Sony's already planning a sequel. So there you have it, a Goosebumps movie franchise. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and go see the movie.